Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Life According to Nikki. Today, we have my wonderful friend, Kiyana. Are we kidding? Oh my gosh, I love that.
Hello, everybody. Hello.
When and how did we meet?
We met at Body Balance Massage and Float, which is where I was hired almost 5 years ago as a massage therapist, and you were the office manager.
Indeed. Good old massage. It's actually brought me so many of my friends.
I made more friends there than I have at any other job.
That was just such a good environment. Such good people.
The 3 years that I was there were some of my favorite employment years I think I've ever had.
Oh,
yeah.
Shout out to Body Balance Massage and Float in American Fork. They're amazing. And Kiyana also has her own massage business. If you ever need a massage, we will get to all of the massage things, don't you worry. But just know that if you ever need suggestions when it comes to massage, I got you.
She knows.
I know that world very well, to the point where I feel like a lot of people asked me if I was a massage therapist.
I would say you know everything short of actually being able to do the massage.
I think that applies to a lot of areas of my life.
Yeah, you're very much like head first know everything that you can.
I could never do what you do, though.
Because your boundary is touching people's bodies.
Yes.
Why would you know how to do that?
Exactly. Don't ask me to, give a massage. Couldn't tell you. I could tell you a technique. I could tell you what's going to be best, but I will not be touching you.
Yeah, and I would say that would also mean you probably don't know how to do the thing.
Oh, absolutely not.
And what you're looking for. But when it comes to knowing, if someone's like, I have this kind of pain, you could be like, try this, this, and this.
Exactly. I can refer out.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I'm a good referral person. There was one single time that I was filming training videos for massage. I was working the cameras, obviously. And one of the massage therapists asked if I wanted to try, the technique. It was Pantasha. Okay. She was the one on the table. He was explaining a technique, showing the technique.
Yeah.
And then she was like, would you like to try? In the moment, I was like, yeah. And then the second I went to go put my hands on her and I put lotion on, I was like, actually, no. I don't want to touch you. And it really isn't even touching another person. I was just like, no, actually, I don't like this.
I'm not even surprised, honestly. Because you're such a try everything kind of person that you were all in and then just hard breaks.
Yeah, absolutely. Skirt! Whoa, I don't want to go down this road. It was literally hands just hovering above. And I was like, I think I'm not in this career for a reason. They thought it was hilarious.
That's funny, yeah.
Well, and the funniest part was, I feel like for so long, Tasha tried to convince me to be a massage therapist.
She did. Oh,
well, I feel like everyone at some point had, because I really enjoyed learning about it. I know a lot of stuff about it.
Mm-hmm. You never brought it up, so
yeah.
I assumed you didn't want to, I guess.
Yeah, well, you assumed correct.
Okay, good.
You assumed correct. But I feel like everyone was just like, why don't you just try it,
I am very much of the mindset that you can know if you don't want to do something without ever having to do it.
I totally agree. Oh, I totally agree with that.
I will skydive. I don't know why. It seems not super daunting. First of all, you're strapped to somebody the first time you do it anyway.
If you go down, you're going down with someone.
You're going down with someone, and it's a professional.
You're not alone.
I don't know. The feeling when you jump, I've been told when you jump out of an airplane, you don't really feel like you're falling, except for the first couple seconds. But you will never convince me to bungee jump. No. I refuse. The ground is too close.
See, I'm really lucky now that I have the fully legitimate reason to never go bungee jumping is with my back problems and stuff. I have an unstable spine. I could never sign that waiver.
Same. We haven't talked about that in a while. Same. But yeah, no, I will not bungee jump. Being strapped at your hips and ankles to something stretchy.
I feel like I could be convinced to go skydiving if there was enough money on the line or the guy was hot enough.
There you go. Yeah, because you're single. You've got that motivation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The Amazing Race? Strap me to somebody else. Get me on a plane.
There was an episode of The Bachelor where they were strapped together on the top of a skyscraper and bungee jumped down the side. Hell no.
You were like, let's break up actually right now.
Yeah. We're done. And
It was never going to work out anyways.
It wasn't going to work
We
out.
were not compatible enough.
Anyway, back to massage.
Right. That's how we met.
We met at Body Balance, and then it took a while, but I think the thing that we really hit it off on was talking about sex and TV and our chronic physical issues.
Oh, yes. If you want to relate to me, talk about one of those 3 topics.
Now we're pals. I don't think you'll take offense to this because we are great friends. We are better friends than I would say coworkers, in my opinion.
I agree.
Yeah, you're just so type A. When it comes to, like, running something, not my fave Nikki vibe. Did you run that place a million times better than I would have? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But I enjoy being your friend, I think, a little more than a coworker.
No offense taken at all.
I figured you wouldn't be upset about it.
Absolutely not. Well, and it's because you got to know who you are.
Yeah.
You got to know what type you are. And I also think that similar things apply. You can be best friends with someone and never be able to live with them.
Oh, yeah. That happened to me, my very first roommate when I went to college. We haven't spoken since then. It was a very close friend.
Oh, yeah, rough.
Yeah.
You got to be real with yourself, and you also have to be real about what traits in the other person really bother you.
Yeah.
I think that applies to every facet and area of life.
Yeah.
I really do.
And knowing yourself is way more important than, like, trying to figure other people out.
Snaps
like,
to that.
if someone's doing something and I know it's going to bug me, it's a me problem. And then you can step away or intervene if it's a boundary. When it comes to, like, working with people, I'm 31. It's taken 31 years. Actually, I'll be fair to myself, 28 years to, like, figure out what things about me tend to bug other people, or what things about me I didn't really understand the reactions I was getting. I didn't get this till I was 29, but I got an ADHD diagnosis when I was 29. And now that I know that I'm technically neurodivergent, the world makes sense. So bringing it back,
Yes.
I think you and I are much better friends than we were coworkers, simply because the things that I cared about weren't necessarily a big deal for you, and the things that you cared about, I didn't necessarily think was a big deal.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
But I think everybody can relate to that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I love that our friendship has lasted. And
Me
now,
too!
Now you're on the pod.
And I'm on the pod!
This is
I'm
so
so excited!
And as a frequent listener of the pod,
Yeah.
you know that we got to start off with our recent watches.
I got a list for you.
That's what I love to hear. I love a list. You start.
I have kind of a long list of recent watches, so I'm gonna just read them,
Please.
and then I'm gonna talk about like 3 or 4 that my opinions on them.
Amazing.
Okay, great. I recently have watched the show One Day, recommended by Nikki here.
Oh, we're going to talk about
We're
that.
gonna talk about it.
We're going to talk about that.
The live-action Avatar: The Last Airbender, the recent season of Love is Blind, Resident Alien, Somebody Feed Phil. I'm gonna get into some you might not know about, Nikki.
I have not heard of these.
I got you.
Oh.
Yeah. Another series called Bodies. And then Godless on Netflix. That one came out in 2019, I believe, so it's a little bit older, but still so good. Band of Brothers. I watched the Eras Tour. Marcel. A show with
Marcel
shoes.
was... I'm so excited to talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
Loved.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm so excited to talk about that.
Dune Part 2. Perfect Match, which is kind of a sister show to Love is Blind. So I don't think you'd really be into watching that one. December. It's kind of new.
That one's on my watch list.
Girl, you have to watch it.
Okay.
It is... I started Society of the Snow, but I didn't quite have it in me that day to keep going. I'm definitely going to finish it at some point, because sometimes I'm intrigued by the story. And human tragedy is like why we have happiness in the first place. But I'm not always ready for something like this.
Yeah.
So I started watching it, and I was like, maybe another day.
That one, at least I was a little bit more emotionally prepared for. You want to know what I wasn't emotionally prepared for? Everest.
I was ready for that one. I watched Everest. I didn't know both seen that one.
I didn't know that people died. Like, tons.
Lots of people.
Well, and people on the documentary.
Yeah.
Whoa. That one I watched when I was younger. It was when I was living at home, because my dad watched it, and I just sat down. I thought that it was just going to be an inspiring story.
It is not.
Definitely
it's the
not.
opposite.
Yeah, it's like, actually, don't do this. Yeah, devastating.
Yeah. And then the very last one that I've watched recently, and I'm not finished because Bridger and I kind of watched together.
I'm wearing the Modern Family
You're
sweatshirt.
literally wearing it right now.
Right now.
I'm in love. The thing I love about it right now is my current family, including in-laws. We relate. We relate.
You see a lot of life mirrored in that show?
Like 80%.
Wow.
This isn't one I really super want to talk about, but I will say Modern Family, I relate to it. My father-in-law is gay and married to a man who is also my husband's boss. Bridger's parents are divorced. Mom is still very religious, and all of her children are still active in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, including us. Then, on my side, my mom refers to herself as a recovering Mormon. I don't know what that means, but she is no longer an active member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Got you.
3 of my siblings are, and my other 3 are not. Then just all have got kids with things going on.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a hot mess. A lovely, wonderful, Christ-like hot mess. But that's why I really relate to Modern Family. Okay, one day, 10 out of 10. I definitely agree with Nikki on what she said in her last couple podcasts about it. But, actually, I wouldn't give it a 10 out of 10. Would you rewatch it? 10 out of 10. Was it one of my favorites? It was up there. I probably wouldn't put it on my top 10.
Yeah, that's
or
alright.
like top 20. But I would definitely watch it again. I would say my one thing I didn't love is I felt like the lows, there were way more lows than highs in the show.
Yeah. I didn't want to spoil anything too much.
Yeah.
So I was pretty elusive.
Yeah.
But all I said was that it wrecked me.
I would say 5 of the days they highlight were happy and 15 were quite sad. But it's real life, so I kind of loved it. And I also felt like the resolution was like a real one. Coming out of tragedy like that, I felt like it was hopeful and realistic.
It was beautiful.
Worth a watch.
Oh, see, that's one of my favorite types of shows to watch, is where I feel like it's super realistic and it just takes me on this journey of life.
Yeah.
I love that. That's why I love This Is Us. That's why I love a bunch of other stuff.
So,
okay.
I'm going to get into a couple that I don't think Nikki has watched. Somebody Feed Phil. It's the writer of Everybody Loves Raymond. I don't love that show. I feel like it's quite sexist. It's very 90s. I'll leave that at that. But Phil, in this show, he goes around the world to different countries and cities and tries food there. He makes friends. They try different stuff. They show the variety of food. And he will try everything.
Is this a reality TV show?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh,
yep.
fun.
It's a reality show, and it's just so wholesome. You want something happy to watch where you learn about another culture's food? Watch it. It's fun to watch.
Somebody Feed Phil.
Yep.
Okay, we love hearing about new shows.
That one's fun. If you need a good 1 hour watch where you're not invested in a story, watch that one. Bodies, highly recommend. My personal rating, probably a 7 out of 10. I'm not nearly as picky as Nikki on stuff like this. So.
No one is.
Yeah.
Which no one should be.
Yeah.
No one should be as picky as me.
Let me give a premise. First of all, it is a bit gory, but it's like morbid gory. You're not actually watching the violence. It is the same crime that happens in 4 different times. This is a little bit sci-fi, but not so much, because I know you're not a super sci-fi person.
Yeah.
And I love sci-fi, and I think this is a good middle ground. It's a mystery, it's a little bit sci-fi, a little bit of time travel.
Okay.
It's a good
So
mix.
it's the same body?
It is the same crime, same body, in 4 different time periods. So there's like 1860, 1920, 1940, 2020.
How does that work?
Exactly, you have to watch it.
Ooh, you know how to do a tease. Okay.
It was so good, and I think it wrapped up really well. If it's a little bit cultish, there's a few jarring images, there's no sex.
Little 1 season binge?
Yep,
Okay.
1 season binge. Okay, the next one I want to talk about is Godless. If you like a good Western, Longmire, Yellowstone, Magnificent Seven, you gotta watch it. It is extremely violent. There is nudity, but it is not sexual. I would say Schindler's List type nudity. The nudity is just people's bodies. And maybe I'm a bit like don't care that much because I'm a massage therapist, but it wasn't sexual in nature, therefore it like added to the story. The villain, Jeff Daniels. He is usually a goofball in movies. The most evil villain I've ever seen in something.
Really?
So if you like a good villain and you like a good story and a lot of redemption, you gotta watch Godless. Then my last one is May December because holy cow. It is a mind trip. The premise, a 36-year-old woman dates and rapes a 13-year-old boy. But the couple, the 36-year-old and the 13-year-old, didn't view it as that.
Ooh.
Because she claims that they were in love and he had gotten her pregnant and so she had a baby in jail. So when she gets out of jail, they get married.
Whoa, is this a real story?
It's a real story.
Shut up.
But the movie is based on a real story, so it's a bit dramatized.
Sure.
But Natalie Portman is an actress that goes to the town to watch this family and kind of get the inside scoop so that they can make a movie. It is some of the best acting I've ever watched. Great filming. I would say it's a little bit campy. It's meant to be extremely uncomfortable. Ooh. And you gotta watch it.
Okay, I will.
So we can talk about it.
I'm committing right now.
Okay.
I will watch that.
Those are the movies I'm into.
Can I talk about one that you had on your list?
Yeah, absolutely.
Marcel the Shell.
Yes,
Shoes on.
Marcel!
Okay, I never watched Marcel growing up on YouTube.
I didn't either.
Okay,
I had
good.
no premise.
Same.
Yeah.
I went in blind.
Loved it.
And I watched it on a flight because it looked interesting, you know, and it felt like a very plain movie.
Yeah.
Movies that you watch in the air, different.
They hit different. You're
like,
stuck there.
Yeah, and your selection is different than you would ever select.
Well, first of all, it's free, so might as well. There's no risk. You know?
Yes.
The second, I'm also a little bit concerned about what the people around me are thinking about me watching something on a plane. So I tend to choose differently than I normally would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I normally don't watch stuff on flights because I take a lot of drugs. And I am knocked out. I take some muscle relaxers, I take pain meds, I'm on a lot when I'm on a flight.
Can I tell you a little fact about flights?
Please.
I sleep on flights like nobody's business. I fall asleep before the plane takes off.
That is a superpower.
And it is strange because that literally never happens anywhere else for me. It's kind of hard for me to fall asleep. And then you put me on a plane and I'm out.
Something about the turbulence.
It must be the air pressure. I don't, or maybe it's just like, well, I have nowhere to go. I'm just gonna sleep. I don't know.
Oh, I love that. I do better now with all my stuff. I end up sleeping for a lot of my flights. But once upon a time, I was on a flight and I watched Marcel the Shell with shoes on, and
It's so cute.
loved it. Loved it to the point where I was in tears at the end because I thought it was so sweet.
They talk about tragedy and they talk about love and happiness and
Little voice.
his tiny little voice. It sounds like a 5-year-old is having an adult conversation with you.
Yeah.
And it is the most pure thing I have ever seen. They are so cute.
Yes. Absolutely fantastic and probably one of the best movies I've ever seen.
Genius.
The picture, how it was filmed, was amazing. A feat in and of itself.
Yeah, it's like stop action, but not. They use stop action techniques without it being a stop action movie.
It was an Oscar nominee, as it should be.
It should be.
For Best Animated Feature. And then it's won a ton of other awards and was nominated for a ton of other things. But it really is
It's so cute.
good. Highly recommend. On my scale, I would give Marcel the Shell with Shoes On 9 out of 10 for me. And then for public, I would probably go 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I think for me, it's kind of like Fantastic Mr. Fox feel-wise, as in, like, you watch it first and you're like, what the heck did I just watch? And then you think about it and you're like, I actually really liked that. And then you think about it more, you're like, okay, new favorite. At least that was for me. It was kind of a slow burn and I loved it.
Go watch it.
Yeah.
All right, let's move into our main topic for today. Now, there are 2 phrases that Kiyana has said to me that have really stuck with me. I don't know if you know these 2. I know you know one of them.
I have no idea what you're going to say right now.
So, once upon a time, we were driving in my car. I know exactly where we were when you said this. We were talking about your husband.
Okay.
Because you are older than your spouse.
Yes, by a lot. 5 years.
You were
26 when we got married and he was 21.
We were talking about that and just how everybody else is always making comments on that, but you're like, you're not marrying him. Why are you having a problem?
Yeah.
You were talking about how you knew that he was going to be your spouse.
Okay.
This was your exact phrase.
Okay.
You said, man, just when he gets talking, I'm just like, don't stop. Say it again. And I don't know why, but that to me was the most romantic thing ever. And just saying that you were so interested in what he had to say.
1000%.
The way that you said that when he's talking, you just don't want him to stop. That you want him to talk more. That you want to listen to what he has to say. I thought that was so beautiful. And such a great description of communication between partners, desiring to hear and listen to somebody else speak.
I remember talking about this. I'm going to add some context to it because I think it's funny. One thing that made me not care about our age difference is that he kind of acts like an old man. In the best way. He has a handkerchief in his back pocket always. He wears socks and slippers around our house always, like an old man. He loves fishing, and he definitely, like, shakes his fist at youth.
At
like,
youth?
Youths. If I'm going to quote Schmidt from New Girl, youths. So that kind of negated our age difference. Mm-hmm. And then you looked at me like, then why did you marry him? Like, that is not something necessarily attractive.
I was like, take me through this.
I thought it was. And then I saw the look on Nikki's face. And she was like, well, then why did you marry him? And that's what I said. And I do. I love listening to my husband. If anything, I'm telling him to talk more.
That's so cute.
And I wouldn't say he's introverted. I think him and I are both fairly mixed. But to me, he's told me multiple times, he's like, I don't feel like I have to constantly engage because I'm safe here. And I'm like, oh, that's great. But like, I would like to have an adult conversation. I've been with 2 little kids all day.
Yeah. So that is one of the number one things I remember. I just thought it was adorable.
Okay.
How much you love your husband.
I do.
And then second was a different time. We went out together. We were eating ice cream, and you said, hold on a second, I gotta give myself some insulin because you are a type 1 diabetic.
Yep.
So I asked you a little bit about diabetes and what that is, and just give a very short explanation, which I'll have you do here. But you shared an analogy with me about what it's like to be a person that has a chronic illness and that deals with it every day. I call it the block analogy.
Yeah.
It has stuck with me ever since. For me, it was deeply profound because I am an analogy girl. You speak to me in analogies, I will hear you.
I love that about
I will
you.
hear you because I think in analogies. That is truly how my brain works. I need it to be a metaphor. I need you to relate it to something else and allow me to interpret it in a different way from every angle.
Yeah.
That is how I work. So when you said this, it was just beautiful. So why don't you give us a little bit of what is type 1 diabetes and then just segue into your block analogy.
Type 1 diabetes. It is a chronic autoimmune condition where my body does not make any insulin. And when people hear diabetes, they often think of type 2 diabetes. I really think they should be named 2 completely different things because really the only common symptom is elevated blood sugar. The means of the condition is totally different. It's kind of like telling someone with hypothyroidism, they don't make enough thyroid hormones, that because they're tired, they have the same thing as depression. They're 2 completely different things. My body's immune system, when I was 6 years old, attacked my pancreas, which is where your body makes insulin, and killed the cells that do that. So I don't make any insulin at all. Yeah. And type 2 diabetes is usually related to genetics, lifestyle, a little bit of weight. I'm not saying everyone overweight has type 2 diabetes, it's just correlated. Some people can even reverse type 2 diabetes. Type 1 diabetes is irreversible, there's no cure, there's nothing I can do to make it better. That means I have to get insulin another way, which is daily injections, either a pump or shots. Those are actually the only 2 ways type 1 diabetics can get insulin. A pump is technically a shot, but it uses a mini IV that's hooked up to you for a few days, so you don't have to poke yourself all the time.
And you don't have that one?
Nope, I have decided not to have a pump. Having ADHD, that complicated things a lot because my type of ADHD is being able to decide what is top priority. Everything on my list feels the same importance. Feeding myself and my children feels just as important as whatever I have on my to-do list that day. Mm-hmm. And it's hard to decide which one I should do first. So I obviously have a system in place now. I've got 2 kids where like we get up, I got a routine, I feed them, then we leave. But when I look at my list, everything on it feels like I just have to do it all at once. And that's not how life works. So I have decided not to have a pump because it was adding umpteenth amount of things to my to-do list. So on my to-do list is what's my blood sugar? Give a shot. And I just know at what times of day that I need to do that. With a pump, it just makes things more complicated. There's like 20 times the amount of supplies you need. I won't even get too into like the financials of it, but like having type 1 diabetes it's insurmountable how expensive type 1 diabetes is. And unless you have insurance, you literally cannot pay for it. Let's say I need 4 vials of insulin a month. 1 vial of insulin is like $400 to $800. It's more than a mortgage.
Oh my
Just
God.
for the insulin. That's not the syringes, the poker, the meter, the test strips, the continuous glucose monitor if you want one. Like none of that. That's just your insulin. So I would say if you were to pay cash for type 1 diabetes, it's like at least $4,000 a month.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot. Anyway, so that's kind of a brief type 1 diabetes. Because I was diagnosed at 6, as of February 1st, I've had it for 25 years. Now let's get into the block analogy.
Yes.
To help everyone understand chronic illness. Or conditions, not necessarily illness. I wouldn't say I'm sick. I would say I have a condition that I need to have managed all the time.
Take it away.
Okay, first of all, I don't want to take all the credit for it. I actually saw it online. But I'm a part of a lot of type 1 diabetic communities online, and it is literally the best way I've ever been able to explain to someone the mental and emotional load of having a chronic illness. I just needed to preface with that because it's describing the decisions that are unseen. It's not just someone sees me give a shot in public, you know? Mm-hmm. So, the block analogy is, imagine you've got 10 blocks, and they're just toy blocks. They look fun. And there's only 10 of them. Who can't stack 10 blocks? So, you are told when you are diagnosed that you have these 10 blocks, and if you stack them all, then your blood sugars will be fine, and it is manageable. But, and this is a huge but, I need everyone to imagine billboard size BUT. Your job is to stack these blocks. They need to stay stacked. If they fall over, you must immediately go stack them. And people are like, oh, well, that doesn't sound that hard. The actual stacking isn't that hard. No, but I literally said immediately. I mean, they fall over, you have to stop and go stack these blocks. I'm going to tell you the most inconvenient times you got to stack these blocks. Sleeping, kids' naps, sex, shower, car ride, plane, tests, school, family functions, parties, out to dinner. Exercising is the hardest one because exercise affects your blood sugar. There's been times where I'm in a hard workout and I just have to stop and throw in the towel. Can't keep working out. You have to stop and take care of your blood sugar. The biggest indicator of your blood sugar, we used to have to do blood tests, but now we have continuous glucose monitors, which attach to you for usually about 10 days, and they tell you what your blood sugar is. Most of them tell you what your blood sugar is like every 5 minutes, which is really nice. Life changer for someone with ADHD, because then I don't have to stop and think about poking my finger, but I do have to stop and give myself shots. If I feel like my blood sugar is high, I have to stop and do a shot. If I feel like my blood sugar is low, I literally can't function. I have to stop and eat. There were times, and I think you saw this a couple times, where my blood sugar went low at work, and I had to postpone a session or leave for a minute and like literally stuff my face with fruit snacks or Capri Sun. Or if I was riding low that day, I just took 2 Capri Suns into the massage room with me so that I could sip on it in between sheet transitions or things like that. So back to the block analogy. Earthquake, your kid knocks it over, you stepped into it, it's your own problem, you caused it. You have to stop what you're doing and stack these blocks. I've lost sleep. I've had to stop sex. I've had to get out of the shower soaking wet. Did a lot of sports in high school. I just had to ask for a sub. If your blood sugar goes low, you have to stop and eat. Or if your blood sugar is high, you could easily go into something called diabetic ketoacidosis. It's called DKA. And if you don't treat it, you can end up in the hospital. There's lots of things you can end up in the hospital for with type 1 diabetes. But the block analogy is literally the only way I can fully explain like how much it sounds simple, but it's not. Because it constantly interrupts everything that you do. Your decisions are based on it. I don't get to just go to the store with my wallet. I have to have food if I go low, and I have insulin if blood sugar goes high. I don't get to just go somewhere without anything. Literally everything can affect your blood sugar. What time you wake up, your period cycle, the food that you eat, caffeine, literally if you were out in the sun too long. People don't realize like how many things affect your blood sugar.
But and how many things can knock those blocks over.
Yeah, literally everything knocks the blocks over.
Wow. Thank you, first off, for sharing. It's just crazy to think of the worlds that you know nothing about that people exist in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have to just exist this way.
This is the world that you know, that I have no idea about. when you told me this analogy, it made me think about that concept. I started pondering, because again, I'm an analogy girl, and I love to poke and prod and look at that analogy from every angle.
Same.
And I kept asking myself this question. I wonder what everybody's blocks are and what knocks them down. Mm-hmm. As I thought about this over, honestly, years. Yeah. It's been years since you told me this.
I know. I think it's been at least 3 years.
Yeah. I've thought about this ever since. It made me think about my own life and my chronic back pain. Although the analogy of, just stacking them and having them knock over was so profound for what you were saying, when I thought about it more, I thought, okay, I don't think that one applies to me as much. Instead, if I were to tweak the analogy for myself of what I feel like is true for me, I would say instead of just stacking them, for me, I am required to build a very grand building out of these blocks.
Okay.
There are a ton of blocks. What I see is a partially built grand structure.
Okay.
And they are those wooden blocks. They're smaller, a little bit more weighted, right? But they're not Legos. They're not holding together. You knock one down, you're done. That's going to be a whole section that's down until you rebuild.
You've got a whole domino effect going on.
Exactly. So that's what I think mine are. Because when I wake up in the morning, I see what sections in the night fell.
And hopefully it wasn't a foundational one.
One can hope. Every morning I wake up, it's a new day and a new dawn, and it's a new mystery of what I'm going to feel like. There are things that I've discovered that help. If I bend over a lot in a day, I'm like, oh, shoot. I'm going to wake up tomorrow with so many blocks completely knocked down. I feel like mine is knocked down at night. That's the one time that it's knocked down. And then in the morning, I see the damage.
Yeah. Well, and in that case, too, you're like, I did this to myself. I literally walked through my castle and decided to knock down these walls.
Exactly. Whereas yours is constantly knocking down, but then it's quick to rebuild, right? Mine takes so much time because it's very complex.
Yeah.
And mine is a very specific design. I have a picture that I gotta follow and a model. When I wake up in the morning, I see where I'm at, and I am really good at rebuilding some sections because I've done that a lot. I bent over too much yesterday. I know what I need to do today. I need to take some more time, just really focus on this section, rebuilding it, right? Rebuilding my strength in my back in that way. But if I choose to do an activity that I know is gonna knock down some section, but I have never really rebuilt that section, rough. That can take me days to rebuild. Absolute days. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
This is what is so complex for me when I'm describing to somebody else what it's like to have chronic back pain, to have a condition that no one else visibly sees.
That was another thing I wanted to chat about is my condition and your condition, you cannot see it from the outside.
To me, it takes so much more of a mental toll than it ever does physical.
Yeah, it's the amount of decisions you have to make in a day. There's been a few studies about how many decisions type 1 diabetics have to make in a day, more than the average person, and it's some insane amount, 500. You're making 3 times the amount of decisions just to exist as a regular person who just gets to wake up and eat their breakfast.
Oh, I absolutely believe that.
Yeah.
What's so difficult is you can say it all day long. You can tell somebody, but truly, the sympathy, short-lasting.
It's not great.
No empathy.
Nobody cares. They're like, well, you know what? You know what the biggest reaction I get? I don't want to say nobody cares because people care. But I think people are generally caring. But the sympathy and empathy card gets pulled off the table really fast because the reaction I get from people is, I'm glad it's not me, which hurts, right? That sucks. But someone who doesn't have a chronic something that they deal with every single day literally cannot understand the emotional and mental tax that it has on you.
Yes. Oh, I completely agree with that. As someone who did not have this problem until I was 20,
yeah,
I can absolutely say, without a shadow of a doubt, that I did not understand.
Yeah.
I have known people in my life who have had chronic illnesses, chronic back pain specifically. I had no freaking clue how much that affects, especially back pain. And again, that's the one that I can speak to because that's the one I deal with. Mm-hmm. But my back determines everything about my body. How my hips work, how my legs feel, and then the nerve damage that I have, that affects a lot as well.
People don't understand that your being able to stand up is dependent on your spine.
Mm-hmm.
You being able to do a sit-up, being able to move your arms the same range of motion on both sides. If your spine's off, you can't do that.
It's not just hurting in this localized spot. Oh, it hurts everything.
If your back is out of alignment or injured or whatever, it causes pain in other places because the rest of your body has to make up for where your spine's not working.
Oh, 100%.
I can be understanding,
mm-hmm.
but I cannot understand. As Justin is like, you cannot understand type 1 diabetes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, I think you just said that so beautifully. And I think that this is something that a lot of people can relate to, is dealing with something that nobody else sees that affects literally every part of your life. But even people in your life may not even realize it, may not even understand to the extent to which you are dealing with your blocks.
It never goes away.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people, when they're sick, when they're hurting, it gets better. These things that we're talking about do not get better.
Yeah, the blocks are permanent.
They're not fun anymore. You're looking at these colors and you're like, I want to throw them in the trash and I would like a different set of colors. And no one's giving you a new set of blocks.
Amen, sister. Yes. And this just made me think about social situations that I'm in. For the last 6 years, they have gotten exponentially trickier for me. Because if I say yes in a moment of enthusiasm to a plan, you know, hey, let's go out to dinner. Something as simple as that, right? Immediately I'm thinking, okay, what type of seating is gonna be there? What type of back pad do I need to bring? How long are we gonna be sitting there? Am I gonna be able to stand up during this dinner, or how awkward of a level will that be? How many people there know about my condition? How many people am I gonna have to tell tonight? To what extent am I going to tell them? Dating? Oh, dating as a person with a chronic problem, a chronic illness, a chronic condition, anything in that realm, you get what I'm about to say. Because when I want to just like go on a date with somebody, it is not that simple. I have to bring a bunch of stuff with me. I gotta bring either a butt pad or a back pad or both. And it's not necessarily an embarrassment thing, but it's a convenience thing.
Well, and you have to explain it.
I do.
As someone who has to pull out a needle every time I eat carbs, that's another misconception. It has nothing to do with sugar. It has to do with how many carbs you eat. Sugar is a carb, but not all carbs are sugar. And I have to pull out a needle. People are like, what's this?
What's happening?
What is this? I'm like, oh, it's for you. No, it's for me. Having to explain it to new people is one thing, and it gets annoying and old. I'm a curvy girl, and they're like, oh, you ate too much sugar as a child? No, it has nothing to do with that. And then it's constantly, every time I meet someone new, it's like this education curve. They still don't quite get it. They don't always understand what you're saying because they have type 2 diabetes in the back of their brain. Oh, my sister had gestational diabetes when she was pregnant. Oh, throw up. It went away for her. Bite me.
That's what kills me, is when someone talks about a sibling or a loved one or someone that they know that has a back problem. And I get, it's all good natured. They're trying to relate to you. They're trying to get on the same level.
They literally are.
But it's not the same, babe. It's not the same.
It's in them trying to be understanding. It feels like a slap in the face.
Like, please don't give me a suggestion of how to fix my
yeah.
problem.
Or I'm like, I have this. Like, oh, my grandma has that. She has to take a pill every morning. I'm like, I wish I could take a pill in the morning. I cannot eat insulin. I have to inject it. And people look at you like, well, if you treated yourself better, you wouldn't have it this bad.
There's just a lot of misconceptions about things that other people don't deal with,
you
know?
Yeah.
And I think that's across the board. When it comes to this block analogy, I obviously took it from my own life. Sometimes I say yes to things, and then people think, oh, she's capable of doing that, and she likes doing that, and she had a good time at that thing, and then the next time I say no because of my back, it sometimes makes it seem like I'm lying. That, okay, you just don't want to do it today because of whatever reason, but you did it last time, so I know that you can, and I know that, you know? Or, especially, if it's an activity I don't want to do, and I also know that my back is going to make it an activity that I really don't want to do, and I say no to something that I have shown distaste for, they automatically assume that I'm using my back as an excuse to not do it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, especially if it's something that I'm not particularly like on board with a group plan, let's say. Let's say we're getting together and we're all throwing out ideas and someone throws out an idea and I go, I don't really want to do that. And then that's the plan that's ultimately decided on.
Mm-hmm. But they don't know you're knocking down 3 walls of your castle and you hate the thing. It's not worth it.
Exactly. It's not worth it. I weighed all the pros and cons, babe.
Yeah.
And we came out with no on top every time.
It's not freaking worth it.
Yeah, you don't live in my body. You don't know what that's gonna do to me. Not only am I gonna have to muster up a pretend good attitude, but I'm also gonna destroy my body in the meantime.
Well, and one thing when it comes to type 1 is I'm constantly making decisions, and normally I'm like, if I want to eat something, I eat it, because eating food, the kind of food, has nothing to do with my type 1 diabetes. I have it or I don't, so if I want to eat a brownie, I'm gonna eat a brownie. But if there's a day where I'm struggling with high blood sugars and it's not coming down and I don't feel good, and someone's like, here, have some pie. And I'm like, no thanks. And they're like, insist, because Utah. Insist. I either have to decide to explain why I don't want it or seem a little bit rude. Do I say out loud? Do I blame my diabetes for it? Do I actually say that? Then it's also adding to the misconception that I can't eat a brownie. I'm choosing not to eat a brownie because it's not worth it in that moment. But it's taken as in, I can't eat it. I can't tell you how many young women's leaders brought sugar-free garbage for me when they made the most delicious treat possible. Let's say Rice Krispie treats. Love them. They will bring that, and they will bring me sugar-free Werther's caramels. First of all, sugar-free candy has carbs, just so everybody knows.
Let's be clear.
It is not sugar-free. Second, no. I want the damn Rice Krispie treat. It's worth the insulin.
Yeah.
But some days where I don't feel good and I know it's not going to help, and so I say no. They think it's black and white, and it's just not.
Oh, it's so...
The gray area is like 10 feet thick.
There's a whole range.
Also, agency. People have agency. They get to say no. That's my little...
Yeah, it's hard because sometimes I want to do it because I want to be with the people that are doing the activity.
And you want to experience it and build the relationships and do something fun.
And that's why dating is especially difficult for me because I don't want to explain my whole story off the bat.
Do you worry about a potential date thinking you're high maintenance?
Oh, absolutely.
I would feel like if I had to carry around bolsters and pads and pillows and move around all the time, that they'd be like, this girl is like, can't figure her crap out.
Yes. Don't take me to a theater. Don't.
Hey, I already did that and I would do it again. We went and saw Argyle.
How much stuff did I bring?
I had to help you carry it in. It was great. And you know what? When I booked the tickets, I was like, Nikki's gonna need this. There were 2 end seats available, and I purposely booked us 1 seat in because no one's gonna sit in the loner end aisle seat by themselves so that Nikki could have a second seat.
Oh my gosh, I'm literally getting teary-eyed because those are the things that people who are close to me know. Mm-hmm. You're gonna make me cry.
I got you.
Because when you deal with something that no one else sees...
This is real. Let it out.
And then somebody sees it. Oh my gosh. Like, to just have someone book me the back, very last corner seat on the side because they know I'm gonna need to stand up. They're gonna offer to carry my backpack for me with my 10 million pads. They're not gonna be bothered by it. I'm not having to sit alone in the back because I have to stand up. The amount of times that I've had to watch a movie by myself in a theater with other people because I needed a different seat accommodation, or not being able to go to dinner with somebody because I knew that the table wasn't going to be what I needed, or being
heaven forbid there's a bar stool.
Oh, literally, nothing is worse. Please, don't make me sit on a bar stool. I will only last 5 minutes before I am in an excruciating amount of pain that will knock my whole castle down. All my blocks, gone.
But really what you're saying, like, when your struggle is seen by someone, then you feel seen. It's not just your condition. They see all of me and they still want to spend time with me.
Oh, it's the most beautiful thing, and I am super lucky, so privileged to have friends and family that accommodate me and that listen and ask me what accommodations do you need?
I'm an asker.
You are. It just really matters. Although we may not see each other's blocks, that we ask what that experience is like for somebody else.
Ooh, I like that. You have a set of blocks and they're hidden. You can't see my blocks.
I can't see your blocks.
I can't see your block. Only I see my block.
But I can ask you what you have to build, what they're like, how heavy they are. Because that's another thing. I was thinking about people with depression, right? This is a very invisible thing.
Oh.
And that is something that I cannot relate to. That is not something I understand.
Same. Not something I've struggled with.
But when I was thinking about it, I was like, I wonder if someone with depression, if their blocks are concrete and they only have 3 that they gotta stack, but it may take them all day to stack them. And if I woke up and saw these 3 concrete blocks that maybe weigh 200 pounds each, and you gotta lift it above your head to stack them because that's how big they are, then yeah, I could see how the thought of doing that,
why bother?
yeah,
I like that too, because let's say they only have 3 blocks, but if they weigh 200 pounds, it's easier to push them together. Like, you got the bottom 2. I can handle these 2 things, but the thing I really need to do, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't lift the 3rd one on top of the first 2. Okay, today I managed to brush my teeth. I pushed that block. Today I managed to get dressed and go to class. I pushed that block. But I can't bring myself to go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
You know, like...
And that's where I think conversations with people can be so profound.
Yeah.
When you start to understand, what are your blocks like? How much do they weigh? What do they look like? And then just going one step further, I thought about when my friends died, and I feel like I was given a new set of grief blocks. Now, those did not last forever. I want that stated. Those ones did not.
Not all your blocks last forever.
Yeah, but those were freaking heavy.
Yeah.
And those ones felt even more hidden. You're still dealing with the blocks that you can't get rid of. And now I had to do 2 things. And so my energy was just depleted.
Just through the floor.
Yeah.
I mean, I was there when this happened with you. We'll get into that in a second. I do know that you found strategies to help erase some of those blocks.
Oh, yes.
And I was there for it, and it was beautiful. One of your coping mechanisms was to throw the most insane Harry Potter party.
It was a good coping mechanism.
And it was the most intricate, thought out party, immersive experience that I have ever been to.
Thank you.
So I'm just throwing that out there. You guys, we had a Whomping Willow.
It was 7 feet tall.
It was literally 7 feet tall in the entryway of this Airbnb that we rented.
I'm so glad you brought this up.
You're welcome.
Because on a couple episodes from now, I'm having a experienced designer come on the podcast. Her name is also Nikki, and she's the one that does the Valentine's Day Museum, if you've ever been to that in Provo.
No, yeah, I don't know this.
So she's going to be on the pod, and we're going to talk all about that party.
That's awesome. Yeah. They had corresponding food to, like, each movie. Was I able to eat it all? No, I wasn't. So I'm glad we're going to have a podcast about it.
Oh, there's going to be a whole episode. Thank you so much. There's going to be a whole episode about it because I love to talk about it.
And then I know a couple other things you did with your grief. As someone who's never been to a funeral, I've had grandparents die, and I don't want to sound too callous with this because we didn't get into my upbringing, but my father has passed, but I was on no speaking terms with him, so I kind of grieved my dad before he passed, so I've never been to a funeral. So I know that you did a grief journal. You came and saw me in massage to help with that.
So many good things. So the grief diaries, I'm actually going to do, I think, either a series on the grief diaries or maybe it's just going to be a whole episode and I read them all. I haven't quite decided. There are a couple things in my life that I'm so proud of that I've created, and I think we should all feel this way about things that we've done, and one of them is my grief diaries, and I think it's because I truly feel like I didn't write them. God helped me write those. See, I'm gonna cry again.
We cry every time we're together, Nikki.
I know. But the other thing that you just touched on is something that makes me love you so much is the massage that you gave me the day after I found out that my friends had passed away.
Let me just tell you, like, how this just happened to line up. We had a full booking that day, and then I, last minute, at the end of my shift, had someone cancel, and so I just happened to have, I think it was only a 30-minute gap at the end of my shift, and then I saw your name pop up on my schedule, and I was like, holy cow, she just lost her friends. I can't believe she's trusting me with this. We were pretty close friends by then. As a coworker / friend, I was like, this is a lot. And she lost 2 friends. You know, you came in, and I remember I was thinking about it that like half an hour before you came in, like, how do I even approach this? Because I've never dealt with death. I've never grieved a close person who's died. I was like, okay, well, there's nothing I can say to understand you. All I can do is be someone out of the situation who can take that weight from you for just a minute. So you came in, and I mean, you'd obviously been crying because you lost 2 of your best friends. I think what I said to you was, this is a safe room, and you can cry. You can feel whatever you need to feel. Whatever your reaction is to this, you decided that a massage is something that you needed, and I could ask God to help me give that to you.
And then you gave me a hug.
Yeah, and then I left and let you get on the table, and you always pick your own music for your sessions.
Because I'm a needy girl. And I picked my grief playlist, which I highly recommend if you ever lose someone. I'll post it on the website and the Instagram. Yeah, I turned that on, and I mean, I cried the whole session.
Yeah, you did.
I will say, if you know someone that has had a loved one pass away, to me, I think the best thing that you can do for them is get them a massage therapist ASAP. Because the toll that grieving and crying takes on you is overwhelming. If you are someone that's in the boat of like, I don't know what to do, I don't know how to help, get some money together and get a massage therapist in that person's house immediately. Don't set them an appointment somewhere because they will not have the energy to go anywhere. Mm-hmm. And they also can't think about themselves and what their body needs. But truly,
they're just gonna look at the ceiling and be like, I don't have it in me to go.
But crying all day, every single day, the headaches that causes, the shoulder pain, the face tension, it is unbelievable. And Kiyana is a great person for this. I can attest. Because for me, while you were massaging, I was just so sad. The heaviest I have ever felt. And having this silence and you just letting me sob.
First of all, there's nothing I could have said.
Oh, nothing. And I love that you know that.
Yeah.
That's the best thing. Don't say things.
Don't be like, I'm so sorry.
I don't know.
I don't know what sorry is in this situation. All I could say was like, you're safe. Mm-hmm. And you can feel what you need to, and it's not gonna bother me. It's not too heavy for me.
That is what you say. That is exactly what you say to a grieving person. Let me tell you right there.
Yeah.
Write that down. Don't give some hopeful antidote. At least for me, that was not helpful. That was the last thing I wanted to hear. But just being in this safe space and allowing someone else to literally ease my burden, to massage my muscles that were aching from crying. And when you flipped me over, I remember, like, my eyes are closed, obviously. Don't open your eyes during a massage, guys.
It's weird. Don't do it.
So anyways, my eyes are closed, and they were just tears just coming down my face. And as you were massaging, you would just wipe my tears for me. Never in my life have I ever had that happen. And it literally, like, healed a part of me.
When you told me that, like, made a difference for you, I was, like, so grateful. Because initially it feels a little weird, but I just felt like I should.
It was exactly what I needed. I needed someone to physically wipe my tears for me because they were not stopping anytime soon, and I was tired of wiping them myself. After that massage, we'll get into this later, off the pod, I had probably the most profound spiritual experience of my whole life.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
On my drive home. It was the first time in 2 days that I had felt like it was gonna be okay. That this may feel like the end of the world right now. I was given these new blocks and they just felt so daunting and so heavy.
You got to set them down for a second.
And it was the most valuable, amazing thing. I thank you so much for that.
Wasn't me. Yeah. I have the skills, but as someone who believes in God and Jesus Christ, that was them.
Oh, So beautiful. I think actions are much better
Yeah.
than words. Not even that they speak louder, they are better in those particular situations. Recently, I had some family friends who had a family member pass away, and it was very tragic. I was telling my mom, you know, because she was like, oh, what can we do? And I said, honestly, get some people together in the neighborhood to donate some money to hire a massage therapist, and I'm going to call Kiyana.
Truly honored.
I texted Kiyana, and she was able to go over and give a massage to everyone in the family. And then when I was at the viewing and I hugged the mother of the child who had passed away, we just kind of like breathed each other in. And she said, she's a healer. She's a healer. And I can definitely attest that that's true, that I believe that about you. And I think, honestly, if anybody ever passes away, give them Kiyana's number.
Text me.
Because
my business is Evergreen Massage in Orem.
Oh, I will put all the information on the Instagram, don't you worry.
That's my guiltless little...
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Plug yourself.
In there, plug. Yeah,
absolutely. I don't even know if you knew that we were going to talk about this. Truly, it was such a helpful thing for me. And there are things that you can do to help with people's blocks. And massage is one of them.
It's a lot, but it's becoming one of my favorite forms of massage, honestly. I was like, what can I call this? I don't want to call it grief massage. And I decided on bereavement massage.
I love that.
And it was such an honor to go to their house, just silence and making an inviting space. And I'm outside of the situation. You know, I didn't know this family's son. I didn't know the family. I have been to their house, I think 3 or 4 times now on different days, to give them when they needed it. I can only do that so much. My business is set up to be in my own space, but it's totally worth it. I am more than willing. I love it. I think it comes down to I've been through hard things and it hasn't been death related, but you can't truly understand how heavy something is unless you've been through something similarly heavy. I can sit in the emotions because they're real. One of my biggest things I have a hard time with is when you tell something hard to someone and they look at you, you can just tell they don't know how sad you are and they won't ever understand.
Oh, I have a grief analogy on that.
Yeah.
I got a whole analogy on that.
A whole journal.
Yep. Those are coming.
Anyway, so I am grateful that we have had that experience and that you thought of me for this family.
So beautiful. The friendships that I have made in my life. And I have the most amazing friends who have helped me in the most amazing ways. And you are 100% on that list.
Thank you. You too.
All right, after all of that heaviness, we are going to move on to our final segment, which is Hills We Will Die On.
I think you should start.
Here's a hill. You will never, ever, are you hearing me? Ever get me to join an MLM. Listen, babe, I can smell them from a mile away.
Think her name.
Don't you be going, hey girl, it's been a minute. I got a great thing to tell you about. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Because I am a salesperson at heart, all right? It's a God-given gift. What can I say? And I will never use my powers for evil, all right?
To specify, you are only the best salesperson with things you're already passionate about and that you think will truly help somebody.
Exactly. Because I use my powers for good.
Exactly. You're thinking about the other person. MLMs, they're sucking the life out of you.
I will approach companies for them to like sponsor this show and things like that. But no, I'm approaching them. I don't want any stake in the game when it comes to your decision to get something. I truly don't. Take me out of that.
Down with MLMs.
I will come with my pitchfork, my flaming torch, and
she will bury you.
Do not come at me with an MLM. I will never sign up. I will die 1,000,000 times on that hill before I will ever talk to you about your MLM.
I have to say, when people that I would have considered a decent acquaintance or even like a college friend slip into my DMs, we are no longer friends.
I've gone to meetings, I have, of good friends because they tricked me. Oh.
That's breaking some trust.
Oh, major. You're lucky I'm a forgiving person, but let me tell you, I will never make that mistake with you again.
Okay. Noted.
Yours.
Oh, okay. The grid system, down with it.
Really?
down with the Utah grid system. I will fight you from here to the moon. No, not the moon. The next 10 galaxies. I will specify the idea of the grid system. Fine. Nobody follows the rules. I am from Washington, and streets are named with names.
Yes.
Here, they have numbers. Sometimes they have a name. Sometimes they don't go all the way through. Sometimes the road is curved. It's not a grid. It's a curve.
You know what? You're making some valid points.
It's a curve. Get this. When I first moved here, I moved to Utah about 7 years ago. I asked someone for directions, and they gave me 2 numbers and 2 directions. They didn't give me a city. They didn't give me close to a mountain. The biggest issue was the city, because you can have the exact same address 1 city away.
Because it's a grid.
If they don't specify, I'm gonna be lost. Another thing, locals, they will say first east. They mean 100 east, because there's no roads here named first east. You're throwing numbers at me? You're telling me the wrong number? Ridiculous.
That's actually hilarious, because I remember driving around California, praising the Utah grid system. I was in California where everything has street names.
Give me a name. Tell me you're gonna turn right on Vincent Street. Yeah, no. Down with the grid system.
Okay.
I would be fine with it if people followed the rules. Moving on. This is a big one, and I think you're going to disagree with me.
Ooh.
I love this. Taylor Swift, completely overrated.
You'll die on it?
I will die on the fact that she is overrated based on, as a musical person,
Okay.
she cannot sing. She sings. She is doing, if you can't really sing, you kind of talk on pitch. Do I think her show was fantastic? I sure do. Costumes 10 out of 10, because I mentioned earlier that I watched the Eras tour. I thought I was going to go into watching that on Disney Plus, leaving with more respect for her, and I left being like, yeah, just,
Okay.
I'm not going to watch it again. I thought her acoustic set was the best part of the whole 3 hours, because she was playing the guitar and singing, or piano. I think her music is boring. Her new stuff. I like Shake It Off. I think the album that song was on was the last really fun album from Taylor.
1989.
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
I will die on that hill, because people are Swifties. I know a lot of her songs, but I will say I know the ones on the radio. I thought Archer was boring. She sings everything in the same key. She doesn't really go high. The whole 3 hours, I was waiting for her to just slap us in the face with musical talent, and she held out a note twice.
You know what? Here's my salute.
Yeah.
Of respect. Because although we differ on opinion on that,
I figured you would be the other way around.
I actually can see some points from
Yeah.
what you're saying. I think I need to ponder this a bit more, how willing I am to die on the Swiftie hill. I don't think I'd die for her, you know?
Yeah.
Businesswoman, that's a different question.
Yeah, well, I'm not talking about her
Yeah,
business.
but we're not talking about that.
She has literally changed the economy. Women power.
Yeah.
People throwing a fit over showing 30 seconds of her on an NFL game because of her boyfriend, Travis Kelce. Get over yourself.
I don't think any of that is in question.
No, I'm not questioning any of that. Her actual talent, I will die on the hill that she is not that talented when it comes to singing.
All right.
And I know lots of people will disagree with me.
I don't know if I would die on the hill that she is. Like, I don't know if I would die on the opposite hill. You know?
Yeah.
I have a lot of points that I would say, but I respect that that's where you're gonna go down.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm going down.
Going down with that ship.
If you want a really great song, and I really hope you put this, it's by The Strike. They're based in Utah, and it's called Devils in the Canyon. It is one of my top 10 favorite songs.
I will go listen to it. I'll let you know. I'll text you.
There's a little saxophone,
Ooh.
a lot of singing talent. It's not jazz, just so y'all know.
I love this. I just, really quick, I respect any hill that anyone's willing to die on. Even if I disagree with the topic on which you're gonna do it for.
I will not give in on this.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
You know what? Everyone, stake your claim. And stand your ground. Got one more?
One more. Okay, this is a minor thing, but it's big for me.
Oh, my favorite ones. I got chills. I'm ready.
The word hanger, ing, makes an sound, not an sound. Do not come at me with hanger. Don't do it.
Say the difference again.
hanger.
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 And which one's incorrect?
The second one.
The gur.
The gur.
Okay.
I did not get this till I moved to Utah. Guess what I have done to torment myself for eternity? I married a man who says hanger. My children will say hanger. I will never give in on the right way to say hanger.
Hold on, let me just really quick in a sentence see if I say it. I got hangers in the closet.
You were borderline, but not quite.
I think that's me with all Utah things.
Yeah, I agree, actually. I have many hills.
Oh, we all do?
Yeah.
People who don't, I'm like, what is that like?
You come at me with hanger, and I will give you anger. I correct my husband every single time.
And with that, I think this is a good spot to end. Thank you so much for coming on the pod, Kiyana.
It was so fun. It got heavy, it got fun, it got a little quirky.
It did. It got everything.
All the things.
We're so versatile in our range.
Yes.
Yeah.
We got a big range. Love it.
Would you like to close us out?
Thanks for listening to our thoughts on life. This has been Life According to Nikki.
Wait, you sing?
I did. I now sing to my children.
Oh. I did not know you were a singer.
Yeah, I sing. Yeah.
Would you like to belt a few bars?
No, I'm not gonna belt a few bars. Maybe I'll send you a little sample of something I recorded already. You can put it in.
Perfect.
When I leave, I'll send you the little recording.
It'll be the outro.
I will send you one of my husband and I singing.
That'll be perfect.
He sings better than me. He makes me self-conscious. So that's just me being in love with my husband. So maybe we sound great together and I just think he's amazing, but whatever.